You know that feeling when you walk away from a conversation and you just feel truly connected with someone? It's amazing, right? But what if you could make that happen way more often? Well, today, we're going to dive into a science-backed framework that promises to do exactly that. It's all based on some incredible work from Harvard professor Alison Wood Brooks. So, let's get right into it.
It's such a strange paradox, isn't it? I mean, we are more connected technologically than ever before in human history. We've got endless ways to communicate, and yet, so many of us feel more disconnected, more lonely than ever. It really feels like that genuine human connection is getting harder and harder to find. And guess what? It turns out there's a real scientific reason for that feeling.
Yeah, that feeling, it's not just in our heads. We are actually living through what you could call a genuine disconnection crisis. And the reasons why are, well, they're all around us.
So think about the world we're living in right now. It's kind of like a perfect storm of challenges for real connection. First, you've got device addiction, right? Our phones are constantly pulling our attention away. Then there's social media, which can feel like we're always on stage, being watched, which just kills our ability to be spontaneous and real. Then you layer on top of that all the political animosity, the uncertainty around AI. It's no wonder that loneliness and anxiety are skyrocketing. It's a tough environment to connect in.
But here's the good news. In the middle of this crisis, a potential solution started to take shape. And it didn't come from some high-tech lab. It came from a classroom. We're going to go back to 2013, to Harvard Business School, where a single question from a student kicked off a whole decade of scientific discovery.
So this is the question the student asked Professor Brooks: is the social world just a math problem? And for her, it was a total light bulb moment. It just perfectly captured this feeling she'd been having, that the way we were teaching communication was all wrong. We were treating it like this strategic game all about negotiation and influence, you know? And in doing that, we were missing the entire point, the actual essence of human connection.
And this really breaks it down, right? On one side, you have that old view, the math problem approach. It's all about persuasion, influence, claiming value, negotiating. It's pretty cold. But the full picture, the real picture, is so much richer. It's about learning from each other, actually connecting, having fun, enjoying ourselves, and yeah, sometimes it's about forgiveness and repairing things when they go wrong. The social world isn't transactional, it's relational. That's the key.
So this realization was the starting gun. It sent Professor Brooks and her team on this massive research quest to figure out, scientifically, what does a great conversation actually look like?
And this wasn't just some small study. We're talking about a whole decade of work. Her team used some really cutting-edge tech, things like machine learning and natural language processing, to analyze thousands upon thousands of real conversations. I mean, everything from awkward first dates to intense family dinners. They weren't just guessing here. They were digging through the data, looking for real, quantifiable patterns that make great communicators stand out.
And one of their most important discoveries might sound a little surprising. Under the hood, a real, live conversation is, it's messy. It's complicated. It's often super awkward, and it almost never flows like a perfectly written movie script. They actually described it as looking more like a train wreck than a straight line. And honestly, that's exactly why we could all use a simple, reliable guide to help us navigate it.
And so out of all that research, that's exactly what emerged. A framework. A simple, practical, but really powerful tool for all of us. It's called TALK.
So TALK is an acronym, and it stands for the 4 essential pillars of any great conversation. The whole thing is designed to be easy to learn, super adaptable, and honestly, kind of fun to use. So let's break down what each of those letters stands for.
Okay, first up, T is for topics. Now this is about way more than just, avoiding controversial subjects at dinner. It's really an art. It's about choosing topics that invite people in, that spark curiosity, instead of just getting a simple yes or no answer. People who are great at this, they know how to take a narrow topic and broaden it out, or how to pivot smoothly when a topic just dies. It's about being a thoughtful guide for the conversation, not its boss.
All right, next up is A for asking. And this is so cool. Did you know that humans are the only species on the planet that asks questions? It's literally our superpower for connection. And the secret here is to move beyond those simple fact-finding questions and get good at follow-up questions. So instead of just asking, "Where did you go?" you ask, "Oh, cool, what was that like?" See the difference? That's what turns a basic exchange into a real connection.
Then we've got L for levity. We spend so much time worrying about conflict in conversations, but the research shows that the real silent killer is just plain boredom. Levity is the cure for that. And look, this doesn't mean you have to suddenly become a stand-up comedian.
It can be as simple as a shared laugh, a little self-deprecating joke, or just bringing a warm, positive energy to the table. It's what sends the signal, hey, I'm enjoying this, and that's what keeps everyone engaged.
And finally, we have K for kindness. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. See, most of us think we're kind people, but in conversation, kindness isn't just a feeling you have inside. It's a skill you have to actively demonstrate. It means really listening without jumping in to interrupt. It means validating how someone feels, even if you don't totally agree with them. And it means offering support instead of just jumping in with advice. At its core, it's about making the other person feel truly seen and heard.
So there you have it. Topics, asking, levity, and kindness. TALK. And I know, these might sound like small individual skills, but when you put them all together, their impact is absolutely profound. This isn't just about having a slightly better chat at a party. This is about fundamentally changing the quality of your relationships and, really, your whole life.
I mean, just stop and think about it for a second. Every single relationship you have, with your partner, your kids, your friends, the people you work with, what is it really? It's just the sum total, the repeated sequence of all the conversations you've ever had with them over time.
So imagine each of your relationships is like a long piece of string. Every single conversation you have is a new knot on that string, and that knot can either pull things tighter, creating distance and tension, or it can be a point of connection that brings you closer. The whole goal of this talk framework is to help us turn those moments from knots into little light bulbs, to make each one of those interactions glow a little brighter and make the whole relationship stronger.
It reminds me of what the great sociologist Erving Goffman once said, conversation is the spark that can light up the world. It's so true. By getting just a little bit better at these tiny everyday moments of interaction, one by one, we can create this incredible ripple effect in our own lives and in the lives of everyone around us.
Look, this framework isn't just some interesting theory to think about. It's a tool that's meant to be used. So really, that just leaves one final question for you. Which conversation are you going to light up today?